This week is the second week in a row where we hear about the religious leaders at the time of Jesus arguing. It must have been intense that the story continues with the religious leaders at the time of Jesus. Same section of the gospel, John's gospel, chapter 6. Last week, the religious leaders were murmuring about Jesus. This week, it breaks out into a full argument. They quarreled so much so that they started arguing among themselves. The argument intensified because Jesus speaks as living bread from heaven, flesh for the life of the world. A fight then breaks out among themselves, the religious leaders, about that. They were focused on being right, and Jesus was focused on being rooted in love and giving life that is life-giving eternally. With that focus on arguing, it's a very human response. And it causes me to think about how do I argue with other people? Am I focused on being right, or am I going to argue to try to move people toward love? So this week I encourage us to continue the reflection on how we argue with one another, especially in places where the argument intensifies by topic and it breaks out in who's right. It becomes a competition about winning. And let us reflect on how we can move and shift our being and our responding toward love, in a conversation toward love, but more so in actions toward love and service like Jesus, so that we can be bread and life for the world in love. Amen.